So here we are yet again at my kitchen table, and look what I have. I have a bunch of little cute babies, and these are my tomatoes, and I've got some scabiosa. But over in my grow station, we're going to get a closer look here in a second. Finally, my peppers are starting to break through the soil, and they have sprouted. I started all of these trays on February the 18th. Today is March the 2nd, and we are going to do something very important today with this tiny little bit of supplies. Some seeds, some containers I bought and repurposed into seedling trays, and some soil that I purchased. Did not have to mix it myself. I made it super simple this year. I just purchased some soil. With these few little ingredients, we are going to start our summer tomatoes. If you're new here, my name is Heather. I grow in Central Virginia, Zone 7B. I am so glad you are here. I'm just flashing a photo of myself up there so you'll recognize me. Sometimes I do an intro, sometimes I don't. And so I want to show you these peppers. But first, let's look at my grow station. By the end of this video, it will be fully functional. Right now, it's just partially put together because I did not need my lights on until now. I had some lights up at the top for the tomato seedlings that we just looked at. But now that I've got some germination on the peppers, we're going to get our lights on. And we're going to raise up the trays with inverted trays so that it's stacked higher up. And I'm going to have my seedlings literally just a few inches from the lights, about like that. But we'll see that later. First, let's look at, and this is ginger, if you were wondering. Let's look at the seedlings that are starting to emerge for the peppers. And as you can see, there are a couple right there, so tiny, but so cute. Peppers take a little bit of time, and that's why I started those, about a week and a half ago. Over here, we have a couple more. And let's see if there's any in the back. Probably at this point, I'm going to start to pull back the plastic wrap once I start getting germination in a tray. And the lights need to be on immediately. So by the end of this video, we will have this raised up. We will have the light on 12 to 16 hours a day. Whoops, looky there. Another one. It is so exciting. You cannot even imagine how many times I've been over here to check to see if there's any germination happening. Oh, so those are eggplants, Black Beauty eggplants. That is so cool. Nothing back there. There's only one in this tray, so I'm just gonna kind of leave it like that. Yeah, about like that. Adorable, right? Okay, so here is what a heating pad or mat looks like. And these jugs are for winter sowing. I need to get that done too because it's almost spring. I have two, and I only use these for germination. Now I will keep this on now probably until all of the trays have started to germinate. And these guys should be fine with that. It's mostly just a tool to help you with germination, to speed it up a bit. You do have ways around it, of course. Just keep your seedling trays as warm as you possibly can. You will eventually get germination even without a nice warm source, but you will speed up the process if you can add some heat. And these, you can get them off Amazon. I bought mine many years ago, a 2-pack. It was a great deal at the time. Maybe just look for lightning deals, or come up with some creative ways to keep your trays warm until you get that germination going, and then you should be okay. So let's move back to the tomatoes for a minute, because this video is about starting tomato seeds. So back on the 18th, I started 3 tomatoes. I started Tasmanian chocolate, I started glacier, and I started this Polbig. Is that it? Yeah, Polbig. And I just wanted a few to get started. I'm going to plant these guys out around April 1st. And I've done April 1st as a planting date twice in the last many years, and those plants did well. So I'm going to have some plants ready for, these are all cooler or more cold tolerant tomato varieties. Okay. They all should do fairly well in a more cooler environment versus, some of my other tomatoes. So I wanted to get a round going just so we have some fruit earlier. I also started some more micro dwarf tomatoes at the same time. And look at how adorable. They already have their first set of true leaves. I think that is just so exciting, and they're so cute. And then this is the little plant that I saved right before first frost. It was just a little seedling like this when I saved it, and it has spent the entire winter in my house, and he has really taken off in growth. If you can imagine such a little thing growing, and it already has some flowers. So cute, smells so wonderful. So let's go back to these guys. So what am I going to do at this point? At this point, I'm thinking about potting up possibly in the next, I don't know, 3 to 7 days. When you get your first set of leaves, like these guys, aren't they adorable? That is a good time to consider potting up. So this method of sowing here that I like to do is called a block method or multi-sowing. And you can see there are many seeds in one container. And I do this for many reasons. One of the reasons is that I don't like to waste seeds. Instead of putting 1 or 2 seeds in an individual cell, in like a cell tray, and then possibly there's no germination, or there's both seeds germinating, and then I need to separate the 2 seedlings. I just like to do it this way, and then I don't have to wonder, have my seeds all germinated? I can just move forward at a certain point. Now, I do feel like there are a few seeds still coming up with these tomatoes, and that's why I want to wait another 3 to 7 days. You can see here with the Tasmanian chocolate, there is one right there that just germinated today. So it is very possible there could be, 2 or 3 more come up in this individual pocket. I'm pretty sure I only planted 3 glacier seeds. So we have complete germination with that tray. There was a third, and it had a trapped seed head, and I went to take it off without wetting it, and I took off the whole top of the plant. So that is why it is missing. It is gone now. And a trapped seed head looks like this. See? And they really get on my nerves. It annoys me so much that I always want to pick those off. You can let the plant naturally remove its own seed head. You can see some of the Tasmanian chocolates have done that, like that little guy right there, the far right. That might be the best option. Or if you absolutely cannot tolerate having that trapped seed head there, you can use saliva from your mouth and apply it to the seed head and let it sit there a bit, and then you can try to work that seed head off. Or just apply the saliva, walk away, and hopefully that little seedling can take care of the rest. So now is a good time that I'm going to start bottom watering these little seedlings. Before, I was just misting the top of the soil to keep it moist. You can see I've got a couple different, these are flowers, both of these that have not germinated yet. They take a long time. One of these is coleus and the other is something else. I think they were both surface sown, and the seeds were just, gently placed on top, and they needed light to germinate. Now, the pincushion germinated straight away. It did awesome. It was also surface sown, even though it's a large seed. You can see the seed right there. The plant just kind of grew out of its seed. It looks like I had really awesome germination on this. It was the Salmon Queen pincushion. I'm so excited. And so I'll probably get these out fairly early since they've germinated so quickly. These will probably be ready for potting up soon. And it looks like almost every single one germinated. And I believe actually every seed did, because they look like a nice pattern in there. Sometimes I try to put my seeds down in a pattern. Sometimes I just sprinkle. Okay, well, I'll let you see what's going on as far as germination. And now we need to move to the part of the video where we are planting all of our tomato seeds for 2026. We may add a couple peppers. You still have time. You still have time. Even if you're seeing this video mid-March, try. Just do it. You will be surprised at how much growth your plant can put on and grow and be established. And it's okay to move your plants out in mid-May. It's okay late May to move your plants into the garden. But just please try. I think everyone needs to have a home garden. It would really help so many families with food availability. The cost of everything has just gotten almost unavailable for most people. And if you could keep a small garden in the summer and spring, and here in the fall, I try to keep a garden, but the weather was kind of a pain this winter for me. But yeah, let's start our seeds. Let's get our garden going for just a tiny bit of supplies, a little bit of soil. We will have so many tomato plants you wouldn't believe. Last year I grew over 400 and something plants just in my little kitchen window. So the first step for the block method of sowing is to determine what size container you're going to use based on how many seeds you want to grow. So I'm thinking I'm going to use this whole pack. There's only 10. Okay, so we'll use that whole package. And I know a couple of these hybrids, these are both hybrids, they usually do not have many seeds in them, but it looks like there's 10 in this one as well. And there is 30 in this one. For the larger containers, and you can see all of my containers are pre-drilled with holes. I used a drill bit for that. And so I could put a good 15 to 20 seeds in a container like this. And then for one of these smaller cups, I will usually do somewhere between 5 to 7, maybe 5 to 10 if I want to push it. And I could even push this one to like 25-ish. And it looks like I've already got some seeds arranged in here as well. Okay, yeah. So I was planning on growing all 15 of these. I was going to put that in one of these containers. I was going to grow a lot of the paste tomatoes. And I was going to grow a lot of the black seaman and the raspberry Leanna. So, yeah, some of these I'm going to be donating to the food bank. And I was trying to pick out the ones I thought that would work best for them. Like, I think the paste would be a good option. And then I was trying to think of which cherry tomato would be best to have a lot of. And I'm not sure, but maybe what I'll do is just a small cup of each. We'll say up to, 8 seeds each, maybe 10 at the most. Yep, so all I'm going to do now, I'm going to scoop the soil that I've pre-moistened. It's not the best soil I've ever used, but 2 years ago, I had used my favorite seed starting mix. It was an actual seed starting mix, and I think the coconut coir had too much salt. There is sometimes an issue with coconut coir and salt. And my seedlings got stunted, and it was horrific. It was a horrible ordeal to try to work through that year. And I Googled that potting mix, and there were other people that had the exact same timeline of issues. The seedlings would the seeds would sprout, they would grow to a certain height, and then they were completely stunted. And other people had suggested possibly a salt contamination. So I've been kind of nervous to use a lot of the coconut coir based soils after that. And you can see this one, I don't think it has any coconut coir. It is a little more coarse than I would prefer, but I do know that it worked because I've got seedlings that have germinated in this soil. All right, so we're going to go with this part of the video. I'm just basically going to show you how I like to plant my nightshade seeds, and pretty much almost every seed that I plant, I usually do some kind of multi-sowing or block method like this. So I'm just going to take some of the pre-moistened soil and just stick it in there. Like I said, I'm not 100% happy with this soil, but I'm going to make it work. And then I come over here and I make a label. I decide how many seeds. We're going to do all 10 seeds into this 19 seeds in that pack. That was pretty cool bonus. So I put 10 little seeds, kind of in a pattern, up and down, like 3 lines. And then the 10th seed I just kind of put towards the front of this cup. I'm going to save the rest of these seeds. And we're going to top with just a scant amount of a 1/4 inch of soil, 1/8 of an inch of soil. They don't have to be super deep. And these are actually kind of tiny little cherry tomato seeds as well. So just like 1/8 of an inch covering of soil. And there we go. Just a little covering there. Now we're going to mist. And now misting the top. Remember, I want to keep this top layer of soil moist, not wet, while germination is happening. So I will check on these daily to make sure the top layer of soil has not dried out. We got to keep it moist during germination. I'm going to continue this process. You can see my list here. We got quite a few to go. I'll come back in a few minutes and then we'll go over my growing station and anything I forgot to tell you about what's important to me during this initial stage of seed starting. Very exciting time, guys. Okay, so I got a whole tray done. I still have at least a tray and a half more to go, but I'm waiting on seeds, and I've noticed this year seed shipping is so slow, especially for Baker Creek. I'm really shocked at their shipping lately. I ordered some more tomato seeds on the 23rd. They are still not here. And today is the 2nd. So yeah, that seems like a long time for shipping for me. And I wasn't going to pay for the upgraded charge. So I guess that's something new with them. I don't know. Okay, so you can see how close the lights are to what will be in hopefully a week some seedlings. Probably tomorrow I'll have to take more of this plastic wrap off of some of these peppers. You can see the heating mat in place. And I am going to use the heating mat here just to get things started since I have it. I didn't grow too many eggplants and peppers this year, so I only needed one heating mat for them. Let me turn on the light so you can see the effect. But they do hurt my eyes. So I have a silver reflector that is for cars or vans, and I attach that to the front side of my grow station here, and that helps protect everyone's eyes, but it also reflects the light back to the plants. So I will also be putting that on tomorrow. I still have to wash a few more trays because I'll have some over on this side that are the 10 by 10 size. And here you go for a visual. I actually had to go get some sunglasses and put on. The lights are very bright, but they're basic lights. I just bought these at Walmart like 4 or 5 plus years ago. This host station, I think, yeah, it's going on it's going on its 6th year in production. I do have one light that finally went out towards the front. And yeah, as long as I get at least another year out of this contraption, I think I got my money's worth so far. Alright guys, well I'm going to see you back really soon for week 1 updates. This is kind of like the beginning, or I'm going to call it 0.5. I still have some work to do to get everything set up here. I need to go find a timer and also an outlet extender. I don't have enough plugs at this point. Need to wash up some more trays. And I need to get those seeds in the mail. But this is a basic startup for growing tomato, peppers, and eggplants in your house. And if you have any questions, just post below and I will see you back soon.